Let's turn our attention to Arsenal then. They comfortably beat Southampton 3-0. They were, though, without their captain Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He was dropped due to a disciplinary breach, and it's understood he returned back late after a permitted trip abroad for personal matters. It's not the first time, of course, that he's been disciplined for timekeeping. He was dropped for the North London derby last season. Look, the fact that he wasn't on the pitch, Darren, didn't affect the result. It was 3-0 in the end. But is his relationship with Mikel Arteta being compromised again?
Well, the Mail on Sunday asked this question. They've got a page lead in their sports section, and it suggests that the captaincy could go from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and they asked the question, is it time to strip him? The Mail on Sunday. Now, I think this is not necessarily about what's happened in the lead up to this game. Is there any way back for Aubameyang now? Because there has been an issue between Aubameyang and Mikel Arteta before yesterday's game. He was on the bench for the game, for the defeat against Everton. He was taken off, I think it was in the Arsenal game when they were looking for a goal. That seems to be a theme of his time under Arteta. And clearly there are issues between the two of them. He's on a lot of money, as we all know. Now that shouldn't necessarily be a problem. He is the guy who carried the club on his back in some respects with his goals, particularly away from home and in the FA Cup in the season they lifted the FA Cup. So he had earned that contract. People use that as a stick to beat him with, and I don't necessarily think that's fair. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say about this. I know you have a view on the player's perspective, but certainly there does look to be a fracture between him and Arteta, and I'm not so sure it's going to be repaired.
It's about the young players, isn't it? I mean, did you experience something similar in your career?
I've experienced a few situations, and I'm sure every player in the game has, to be honest. I remember a long time ago, I was sat on the bus. We was going to an away game, and the manager came on with some newspapers that he'd been criticised by a certain player. Ended up throwing the papers on the bus, kicking the player off. And yeah, it has an impact when you're so young, because I was young then as well, so it has an impact on the young players. First and foremost, you think what's happened, so you go on the internet, you go on Twitter, it would be now, seeing what's happened. So it's a shock if it is a shock, if it wasn't expected. In this situation, I think the players would have known, because they would have known Pierre Aubameyang wouldn't have turned up for training, so they'd know this situation is occurring and rising. It's unfortunate he's the captain. I think that makes a big impact. I think a certain amount of players in the dressing room would be thinking, come on, like, you're the captain of this football club and it's happening time and time again. You're a top player as well, but you can't get away with this kind of things. And listen, Darren, he's brought it up pre-match, Mikel Arteta, about the situation, and it's a disciplinary breach. But post-match, when he was asked, he just avoided all them questions. Should he not have elaborated then?
Yeah, I think if you're going to go a little bit, then you've got to go the whole hog. And people quite justifiably said to him, well, look, fans want to know.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why
fans will find out, because...
Well, absolutely. And it's a shame because, you know, there was a fabulously worked team goal they scored. You showed it a few seconds ago. Yeah. Brilliant, trademark Arsenal. Yeah. It's a really good performance, and that goal typified it. But this, and the fact that he only offered half of the situation, not the whole thing, it leaves more questions than answers, and actually continues to cast a shadow over the whole situation surrounding Arsenal. And I've got no doubt, Vicky, we'll be talking about it next week again.
Yeah, we certainly will. I mean, we haven't got time to show it really, but Alexander Lacazette, just very briefly, scoring. That's his first goal since mid-October. If Aubameyang is out for any length of period, that's good news for him, surely. Brilliant
news. Very suitable replacement. First and foremost, he's out of contract, and I think he will be one wanting to impress, maybe Arsenal to get a new contract, or clubs that he potentially could be going to. Why they're leaving that to be out of contract, I don't know. The goal you mentioned was outstanding and topped off with a great finish.